Hi all, we've had a great question this week from Julia, who's new to cycling, and she's asked, how do you safely and quickly take the wheels off your bike and put them back on again? It's a really important question because there'll be lots of occasions where you need to take the wheels off your bike, whether it's to clean it, to change an inner tube, to transport your bike in the car. And whilst it also might sound like a really simple question, it's important to have confidence in doing it quickly and safely, especially if you're new to cycling or just returning to the sport. It can be a bit fiddly, but this quick guide should help you. We'll start with your front wheel first, as that's the easiest one to do. Stand behind your bike to one side so that you're looking down over the front wheel. The first thing you need to do then is to open up your brakes by pulling this here, and that just widens out your brakes a bit. The reason we do that is so that when the wheel is released, the tyre can fit past the brakes and the wheel can come free. If you have V-brakes, the process to free the brakes is really simple as well. You just squeeze the brakes together, lift the cable out, and the brakes open up. The next thing you need to do is just open the quick release lever on your wheel. So I'll turn my wheel here so you can see, just open it dead easily. You might need to unscrew it ever so slightly to loosen it up, and then you can just lift the frame up and the wheel comes off. To put the wheel back on, you just reverse the process. Now for your slightly trickier rear wheel, the first thing you do again is to open up your brakes by pulling the lever. Again, that will allow the tyre to pass through. The next thing you need to do is shift your chain onto the smallest cog, which is your highest gear. The reason we do this is so that it is easier to free the chain. So click to change gears, lift the saddle and turn the pedals. You might need to repeat this a few times until it drops right onto the smallest cog. Now, whilst it is possible to take the rear wheel off with your bike in this position, it's much easier to flip the bike upside down so that you don't have to support the bike and you can use two hands to get the wheel off. And that's exactly what I'm going to do because it's the easiest way. So I'll turn the bike upside down. As with the front wheel, we open up the quick release lever on the wheel. With your left hand, you then pivot back the rear derailleur, and that will allow the wheel to come out. You can then lift up the wheel and free from the chain, and your wheel is off. To put the wheel back on, we simply reverse the process. So line the wheel back up, pivot the rear derailleur back, line the wheel up so that the smallest cog sits on top of the chain, and then just slot back into place. You can then let go of the rear derailleur. Close the quick release lever. Turn the bike back the right way round. Now remember to close your brakes back up. Sadly, I learnt this the hard way whilst going down a hill. I realised I had no rear brakes, the reason being that I forgot to close the brakes back up when changing my wheel. So always do a double check that you've closed that back up. As a final check, just spin the wheel to make sure that nothing's catching, the brakes aren't rubbing. Sometimes they'll knock slightly when you take your wheel on and off. So as a final check, just make sure that the wheel runs freely, and if it's catching slightly, you can just tweak your brakes, just move them slightly to make sure that the wheel runs freely. We hope this quick guide helped you feel a bit more confident about taking your wheels off and on your bike. Please let us know in the comments below and subscribe to our channel for more great content and tips for cyclists of all abilities.